This is the day that I've been waiting for. Every leader is silently pleading to be led. Do you believe, like, a guy named Moses split the Red Sea? Like, you actually believe that for real? Like, if you have no interest in having kids, AKA building an agency, just drop the call. And all these other prerequisites, right? If you show up for the calculus class and you haven't taken it, you can't get in. And here's what happens with success. If a day comes and you ain't feeling good, you don't show up, that test ain't coming tomorrow. It might come next week. It might be delayed in 6 months. You're grinding. It's a problem here. It's a problem here because we all got the same leads, got the same comp, got the same people we work with. What's the difference? It has to be you. All right, y'all, welcome to the FFL Enter the Haven team huddle. Mac Agobor here, I'll be your host, and we're going to be talking about two important things today. One of them is going to be the financial inventory, and the other is going to be your journey in this business. Now, we're going to spend a lot of time about building and fathering, right? What I mean is leading. So I'm going to just give you full disclosure right now. If you have no interest in having kids, AKA building an agency, just drop the call. Like, just get off right now because we're going to talk about that today. I know that, hey, for some of us, we thrive off the fact that we have to, or we don't even have to, in order to be able to win here, recruit. But I will tell you this, most people will get there and start doing it anyway. So just think of it this way. If maybe you're kind of teetering between getting off and staying on, I don't know if any of you were children and you played video games where you would have to collect certain items on the video game that you wouldn't use immediately, but when the time came, you would use it to unlock a certain door, right? Some of you, Dungeons and Dragons, Final Fantasy, usually it occurred with role-playing games, right? I was a video game buff when I was a kid, so for me, it just made sense, right? We're talking about some things today that you may not use right now, but the time will come when you are a parent and you will need it. And the success of your child will be directly proportionate to what you gathered previously. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. Why? Well, the reason I'm telling you this up front, why, is because here's what I know. How is weak, right? You can get how pretty quickly. But normally, if you know why, it empowers the how, right? Most people that know why, they figure out the house, right? That's just how it works. Here's what I know. I think the number one coach, he was a Packer. Oh, someone help me out. Lombardi. Every practice, even though he had Pro Bowl players, he would start off the practice with the ball. He goes, everyone, guys, this is a football. He says you win and lose a football game by, pass, run, just simple things. In soccer, if you can do the simple stuff, I'm talking, you can trap the ball, pass it, block, just simple. I read this comment by Trey Honeycutt, and it really hit me. The difficult times that you go through are not for you, but for the folks that are watching you. So if you have a desire to build a business and have children in this business, meaning build an agency, have a business spitting off cash flow to you, whether you're working or not, you're going to have to build a business. There's no other way, because if you're the only one responsible for your income, how will you ever stop working? You can't, right? So you have to build a business. Here's the truth. Everyone must pay the price. He that waits to pay the price pays the greatest price of all. When I was growing up, and I'm still growing up, the question, and again, this is a personal decision for everyone, is having kids. And this is my belief. I remember I was working at the bank, and I'm telling the story for a reason, so just stick with me. I'm working at the bank, and I have this guy. He's one of the tellers, and I was a banker. And he went to church. He actually went to the same church I did. And him and his wife have been married for about 2-3 years. And said, hey, are you planning on having kids? He goes, yeah. I said, okay, me and Angela, we're waiting until we get this in place, until I get a different job or my income or school or blah, 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 blah. I said, that's interesting. I said, why are you waiting? He goes, well, We just want to make sure that everything's right. We can provide as best as we can, guys. And he's saying all this, and I want you to think of perspective. That's the difference maker between success and failure. I came from Africa. There are people in Africa, man, they don't know where to eat. They're still having kids, but they believe, and it all worked out. I came from very humble circumstances, and it still worked out. So when I came to the US and I said, okay, why wouldn't I have children when with such small resources, people made it work? Here with such abundant resources, why wouldn't I? Now, that wasn't the point of me talking to him. Here's what I was asking him. And I'm thinking in that mentality. I said, okay, hey, I get it. So if we were thinking just, economics, it wouldn't make any sense to minimize the number of kids when people with small resources have it. So we're not talking economics. We were talking religion. And this is what I want to kind of help you guys think is this business, call it what you want to, guys. It's based on your faith on yourself and your faith in something bigger, period. That there is something bigger on the rainbow, that something is pushing you. I said, hey, do you believe in God? He said, yeah. I said, do you believe like a guy named Moses split the Red Sea? Like you actually believe that for real? Like the sea split? He goes, yeah, I believe that. I was okay. I said, do you believe Jesus, like God's son, he resurrected? Like he actually came back to life. Like I'm not knocking you. Like if you really believe it, if you don't, just tell me if you're kind of, He goes, no, I for real believe it. I said, okay. I said, Samson, we went on for a couple of different stories. I said, okay, how do you tell me you believe that Moses split the Red Sea and God can't help you pay them bills with kids? He goes, yeah, I guess when you put it like that, you're right. You see, it's not congruent. You either believe or you don't. And here's the truth. Everyone has to pay the price. He that waits pays the greatest price. And so when I got married, I really had this belief in myself. I knew that God would make a way. I knew it. But mind you, I didn't realize how hard it was. We got married, man. I was working and then one kid, 2 kids, and 3. And it's as if I didn't know how to make it stop, right? and 4. And things were getting tighter and heavier. And hey, here's the truth. I knew we lived in a country of abundance. This is America we're talking about. Come on, we're not in some small area where we got no resources. We're like in Nigeria right now. The money from the banks are useless, right? Because of inflation. We're talking America, USA. I'm like, come on, we can go make it happen. This is the land of freedom, home of the brave, all that stuff. And so I kept having it, but it was harder and harder. And I'm praying to God, please, I'm trying. Help me. Like these bills, they won't stop, right? And I have to work more and more. And here's what I'm saying. Eventually it worked out, but it didn't make it any less hard. Now, some of the things that happened of the difficulty, that was on me. I made some poor decisions, right? But here's what I'm saying. What if I'd waited? I look back at my life now, and I am so grateful I chose to have children. I chose to recruit, even though I didn't feel ready, because here's the truth. I was like, when we were having our first child, and I'm going somewhere with this, guys, just stick with me, please. When we were having our first child, like I started getting nervous. I'm like the day the baby was coming and the baby was born, I'm like, you mean I'm responsible for another human? Like, I'm not even ready. Like, I'm not even qualified. And it almost buoyed me up. I had to think differently. I'm like, okay. And I started acting differently. Same thing happened to my brother. He acted differently, but when he had a kid, things changed for him. So all I'm saying is, here's what I realized. If you wait until you're ready, you're going to be too late. You're going to be like one of those parents who they're 40 and then they have 2 kids and then they say, I wish we had had more. It's the truth. Start now, because there is no instruction booklet. Every kid is different. If kids were the same, it would be perfect. There will be an instruction booklet, but they're not, right? They're not. You can do the best you can, and that's what happens. So why do I say that? Well, when it comes to recruiting, here's the truth. When it comes to raising a child, you're almost by yourself in America. It's a little bit different in Africa because you have more people. In America, you're supposed to be, with your family, only them. Here's what I'm saying. It's different. It's not that way here. Raising a team and building and recruiting, it's more like the East, more like Africa, where it takes a village to raise a child. You are not going to do it by yourself because it's not about you. All you're doing is bringing the child to the world. Imagine like this. You're bringing the child to the world, and if you can't nurse, That's okay. Guess who will help you nurse? We got some other people that will help you nurse. They're sisters of yours, right? Hey, if you can't parent as well, it's okay. We got you. We will help. We're raising this thing by ourselves. If you wait, you're going to lament the fact that you wait. Why recruit, y'all? Why build? Well, can you imagine when I came in this business, I didn't believe in myself, but someone else believed in me enough to at least share the opportunity. I was calling leads thinking that this didn't work. I knew I would work, so I was willing to do it with a good attitude, but I wasn't sure. But can you imagine what would have happened had I not had the opportunity? Now I don't have to worry about money anymore. Guys, the gas, eggs, all this stuff on the news, the last time I even looked at the gas, like I just pump gas, I don't even care what it is. I remember when it was like $6 a gallon. I was driving a Yuma 2 hours one way to go run appointments. I didn't even care. That's not because I was callous, because I was able to generate income, give so much value. What if someone hadn't done that to me? If you're not sharing the business, I'm just pleading with you, and you have a desire to, and you're waiting for the stars to line up. First things first, don't be selfish. Stop being selfish. If this business has helped you in any way, shape, or form, if not by income, maybe the associations, you deserve to give it to someone else. Someone else deserves to get the same opportunity. But if it's helped you in any way, shape, or form, here's all people are asking. You should share with someone else. Make it, if you can't do two, sharing the FFL gospel, just asking the question, do one. Ask the question, hey, do you keep your income options open? Hey, are you open to earning extra income? If you can't say it that way, if that's too bold for you, be the person who says no first. Hey, I know you probably won't be interested, but I would feel bad if I didn't share this with you. There's this link. It'll tell you what we do, how we do it, but a lot of people are really, really winning. I thought you might be one of them. If I sent this to you, how soon can you take a look at it? What is it? Well, take a look at it. You see how I said no first, right? So I didn't feel like I was somehow obligated. I was trying to get them. All I'm saying is it really changed my life, y'all. And can you imagine a number of people who will change if they just had the right atmosphere to win? Winners. So that's my plug on recruiting. Also, your journey in the business is you. Here's what you should have a plaque on your wall. It takes what it takes. Until you embrace this, you will have nothing. I said it earlier in Telegram. We have this, saying in our business, the field owes me. The field owes me because I'm working. The field owes you nothing. Nothing. As long as you think it owes you. The field only owes you when you've embraced the process and you say, I will until. When you say, well, it owes me this next week, no, that means you haven't learned the lesson yet. The field will then owe you once you have said, you know what? I'm going to do this until. I will figure it out. I will either increase the effort, some way, somehow, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it happen. All of a sudden, boom, it just opens up because you were willing to just go all in. So if you're having that challenge, if you're grinding, it's a problem here. It's a problem here because we all got the same leads, got the same comp, got the same people we work with. What's the difference? It has to be you. Bottom line. Okay. All right. So your journey is your journey. Oh, I'll say this one last plug. I found it always interesting when people would give excuses for their challenges in the business, not realizing those same challenges was their liberation and that was their salvation. Here's what I mean by that. Hey, real quick. Hey, give me a second. I got Nick is in the home. He's looking for help for a family. That is interesting. We're going to talk about financial inventory. Here's one example right now. Almost an empty sheet asking for help. How am I supposed to help you? So we're going to say yes. We're going to go over that like in about 5 minutes. All right. So people are going through things, and instead of keeping going and doing it anyway, they back off. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If this is what I've always appreciated when I was grinding, like there are Macs in the world right now. They're just looking for you. All I was looking for when I was looking and praying to God, every person, every leader is silently pleading to be led. They're just looking, they're just searching. Who is going to take me to where I'm looking for? You will never lead someone to a place you've never been, ever. All you can do is point to someone else. And if they don't recognize you as the person, they'll go somewhere else. There are Ninas in the world, there are Grady's in the world. If that Grady was here and you met him, would you even recognize him? Would he even recognize you? Here's what I mean by that. When things have been hard for me, and guys, and I'm telling you my philosophy, I'm telling you my mindset on purpose. I'm not trying to rant. This is not about the Mac show. I'm just telling you why I think the way I think, because it's not because I'm special. It's because I had these life experiences that helped me, do it the way we do it. And I'll just say this last thing. We talked about prerequisites in a call a couple of days ago. Prerequisites is, I want you to think, when you think of that word, it's called mindset. So when I say the word mindset, I want you to think prerequisites. Like when you go to a class, you had to take calculus. You can't take calculus unless you've had algebra and all these other prerequisites, right? If you show up in the calculus class and you haven't taken it, you can't get in, right? If you try to use a Windows program into a Mac or operating system, it will not work. Some of us are trying to get into calculus class. We haven't even taken these other courses, right? So the mindset that I have is a little bit different. Let's talk about the difficulty. You can't take someone to a position you've never been. So when things were hard for me, let's say I was sick. Let's say, and I'm giving you real examples, y'all. If something was hard, I wasn't feeling upright today. Here's what I would notice. Normally, most people would think this is just life. No, I would say, aha, this is the day that I've been waiting for. So here's what just hear me out for a second. So imagine you were practicing for a championship, a test, if you will. Teacher said, hey, there's going to be a test of this course, and I'm not going to tell you when. The test can come in a month. It can come in 2 weeks. It can come in a day. Maybe not the whole test, maybe a little bit of the test. I'm not going to tell you, but it's coming. The day comes for the test, and you're like, what's this piece of paper? And you throw it away. I don't want to take it right now. Here's what I'm saying. Everything you're wanting, when you start praying to God and you start praying to the universe, whatever you call them, asking for more success, here's what we know. You get as much value in life, right? Income in life is the value you provide. How do you provide value? Well, you need to solve bigger problems. The more problems you solve, the bigger the problem, the more value you provide, the more money you make. How do you solve problems? Well, you got to be prepared to solve the problem. You can't solve a problem you don't know how to solve. Well, how do you get good at solving problems? Well, you solve it yourself, right? So when you're in the training phase to solve a problem and the test comes to certify you as a problem solver so you can get paid the money problem solvers are paid, and you skip out on that day, you lose the chance to get certified. And here's what happens with success. If a day comes and you ain't feeling good, you don't show up, that test ain't coming tomorrow. It might come next week. It might be delayed in 6 months. Here's what I'm saying with that. When things are hard, that is the day of the test, y'all. So people think that Mac is just a grinder. No, I'm not a grinder. Like, if it was me, I would chill. If it was me, I would just go chill with my family, chill with my kids, farm somewhere. But I know the formula for life. At least it's come to me in different ways, right? So here's what happens. When I'm not feeling very well, aha, I am being tested. I'm going to show up. I don't got to feel good, but I'm going to show up. Michael Jordan, remember that day when he hit that three-pointer last minute? You see, he had that towel over his head. His stomach was hurting bad. Like, he had a stomach bug. Like, I'm talking number 2 bug, right, y'all? But he showed up anyway, and he hit that buzzer because he prepared. He showed up for the test. My point in saying that is this. Some of us, listen, if you don't think you're going to get hit with bombs in this business, I'm talking things are going great, your mom dies. This is an extreme example. Or things are going great, you get a chargeback. Things going great, your whole team quits. If you don't think that's going to happen, well, wake up. Like, it's supposed to happen. You're looking for more. So in order to get more and get more money, you have to solve bigger problems. So in order to solve bigger problems, you need bigger problems to solve. The problem is coming to you. Maybe it's hard to get the first sale. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is, all I'm saying is recognize the opportunity as an opportunity, not a problem. And so if you're going through some situations right now and you back off on the business, how in the world are you going to help someone through that same problem when your solution was not take the test? Just skip out on the exam. You'll be good. Good luck with that one. If Mac and you were my leader, I'd say, peace out, brother. I ain't following you, because all you do when things are hard, you bow out. I could do it. I know I could do it myself, but Who in the world wants to fight an army or go to war with someone who will just run away? I'd rather die with someone who I know will be there no matter what. So I'm just giving you these life examples, y'all. Remember I told you earlier, our greatest strength is that we live in America. Our greatest weakness is that we live in America. And I'm telling you, some of us, we don't recognize the opportunities. In Africa and all these other countries, they got life hitting them in the face. So they get the chance, the opportunity to actually resolve problems like day to day, right? Right? Whereas us, we're just clouded in this comfort, right? And so we have the option of not enrolling the problem. Hey, if you don't pay your bills, that's okay. Government got you. You know how it is in Africa? You starve. You better figure it out. So I'm not saying that those programs aren't for the right situation. All I'm saying is, unfortunately, complacency has gotten the best of us. And we didn't even realize that we were raising a bubble. That bubble is suffocating you. Hence the reason you got to go read a book to get your mind right, right? Get your mind untrained from this junk. So for those of us, if we want to build a business, I'm telling you right now, the very situation you're in is meant to help you. You're either going through the exam or it's preparing you for the exam. It's coming. And as soon as you get certified, it's like when you passed your life insurance exam, you were good. Now you can go make some money, right? If things were tough, maybe you got sick and the exam date was the exam date. Does the exam date care that you're sick that day? No, it doesn't. If you say, I'm gonna do it later, you don't get that exam certification. So I hope you guys get my point. Your story is your story. You have to, if you have any desire to build a business. I don't know what your life is. I don't know what success has for you. I don't know because success is wonderful. It literally tailor makes your tests for you. I don't know what that is. So when you have a situation, just understand you got to go at it head on, not saying by yourself. We got people to help you, but do not recoil. Keep going. Be the person who they're helping 20, 30 families a month. And when you hear the backstory, you're like, what was going on in your life? Like Sean Mike, did you know when he started FFL, he was going through a divorce, all this junk. And when people hear that story, they said, there is no way he started a company, did all this, and he was still doing this. There is no way in the world he did that while he was going through all this. That's what people said. Like, this is facts. No, because Sean was the guy. He went through it. So if you want to be like Sean Mike, you want to be a leader, you don't have to be like Sean Mike. All I'm saying is you got to be you. If you want to be like Chris Riley, because forget Sean Mike. There's a Chris Riley who is the greatest leader that people are going to talk about. People will say his name and they will whisper, wow, bro, you work with Chris Riley? No way. Oh, you work with Drayton? You work with Woody? Oh, you work with Vernon? Wow, for real? That guy is the guy that you're building right now. How will you build him? You ain't going to build him just running away. You better go full steam ahead, because that's this story. When you were running and you were having trouble, that's the story you're going to tell. That story will have those repercussions. So again, I'm just being real with y'all. You're waiting for what? No one's coming to save you. You got to save you. And if you just sit there curling the ball, hoping the time is going to come, it's not going to come. Because success, when you're ready, guess what's going to happen? It'll be like some of you know when in Phoenix, I had some agents or in pre-licensing, they were like, well, I'm going to wait to take the exam or schedule it when I'm ready. And they went to go schedule it. It was like 2 months like advanced. Like the earliest they could schedule was in October. The earliest was like in December. That's what it's going to be like for you. Start now, right? Recruit now. Help now. There's someone that with your current level of training, they're good. You don't got to recruit anybody else. You don't got to recruit a Sean Mike. You're going to recruit someone with your caliber or lower, either way. Or if you recruit someone that's a Sean Mike, get out of the way and show them to someone else. We'll show them to Trey, someone else. So, all right, that's it for that. All I'm saying is you should start having kids now, right?